Hello, traders, and happy Monday morning. So, a little late on the weekend update here as there was a transition made over to Schwab. So, I wasn't able to access my accounts over the weekend until that transition took place. So, now that transition has taken place. I'm working at getting my option traders assistant connected. Hopefully, I'll be able to go through open trades soon as well, but I am having a little bit of an issue matching up accounts there. So I'm going to start here with the market analysis. So, in the market analysis, as predicted last week, I said we were going to, and looking at this big move that we took, I put some Fibonacci's on this. A normal retracement is about 50%. We retraced to that. That was about 2 weeks ago, and I said it wouldn't surprise me if we sold back off, came down toward the lower end of this range, and then rallied back up, and then we would have to see how that transpired from there. As we can see, it did pop through and then ran, and now we're nearing these all-time highs again. What's the expectation here? It is bullish. We're certainly in a bullish mode. We can see here this light blue line is our implied volatility that has dropped significantly, which is also bullish in nature. The accumulation distribution, the light blue, shows that there's lots of accumulation buying that is happening, that is going on, but that did fade here the last 3 days of the week last week. So it wasn't as much accumulation that was taking place here. And we'll be able to see that in just a moment when we look at SPY as well. So again, we can't see volume in SPX because SPX is a bunch of different options contracts. SPY, of course, being an ETF, we can see the actual buying that's taking place of SPY ETFs. If we look at this, we also see that volume is a little bit lighter here as we've been moving up. It's a little lighter than it was on the downside. That's a mildly bearish indicator that there's less people running out to buy these as opposed to like back here. And your down days are almost always a little more volume than the up days. So that's not surprising in itself, but you can see normally when you have up days with conviction that tend to follow through, they tend to be higher levels of volume like we had here, and then again it's trailed off a little bit since there. So right now my expectation based on a couple of those observations would be that we're probably going to approach this all-time high 5270 range, probably chop sideways or pull back off of that, maybe ultimately through this week, maybe down to the 50% range. Then if we rally back up from there, I would in fact expect a pop through. If we drop back down to this 50% range, come to the lower end of the range, then I think this full range is going to be in play for the foreseeable future. So that's my expectations here on SPX. We can also, one other thing to look at here would be the VIX. We can see that the VIX just really dropped off a cliff. But look at Friday. We got this little island here where volatility, for whatever reason, went higher on Friday, even though our markets really didn't sell off. So I'm not sure what that's all about, if it's just maybe people going into a weekend with some concerns with what was happening on the political front with wars, things like that. We'll have to see how that plays out here, whether or not that volatility starts going back up here or not. Today we'll tell that story. Then if we look at RUT, we are similar in RUT. If I were to put the retracement lines on here, or the fib lines on there, we can see came back to about the 50%, popped through it, and now we're coming up to, and these weren't all-time highs on RUT, but these are recent highs. We're coming back up toward the recent highs in RUT, but look at our Friday. We opened, we gapped up, and then sold off during the day. We did not make a lower low than the prior day here on RUT. That would have been a little more bearish, but we'll have to see how things pan out here today. But this is another little sign that's telling me, yeah, probably not all systems go in bullish mode. Probably a little more of a maybe sideways chop here, maybe reach up to the former highs, but again, probably not popping through those just yet. We do have some different numbers coming out this week that are going to be some pretty market moving numbers for us, so we'll need to wait and see how those pan out. From here, I'm going to pause, and then hopefully I will be able to get in and actually look at positions. If I'm not able to do that in a few minutes, because I still can't connect my OTA accounts or my accounts into OTA to view the options positions, I'll have to pick those up a little bit later after I get that resolved. But I do want to get this out. I'm not sure just yet if you're going to see this video ending here or if you're going to see the review of positions. So stay tuned on that.